Hello and welcome to another podcast with me, James Walters, owner of Border Terrier Stanley and promoter of all things dog friendly via our Dog Friendly magazine and website. I'm here with Steve Bennett, long-time owner of Whippets and founder of the Dog Friendly business in 2003. The Doggy Podcast with Steve and James. In this week's podcast, we chat to the winners of the Most Dog-Friendly Town Award, which was announced at our award ceremony at the Kennel Club, London, last week. Bury St Edmunds in Suffolk took the coveted prize to be declared the best town to visit with your pooch after missing out on the top spot last year. The second and third places were taken by Eastbourne and Kelso in Scotland. We meet Sue Warren from the town's marketing team and pet business entrepreneur John Kay, who are behind the push to make Bury St Edmunds exceptionally dog-friendly. Hello, Sue and John. Thank you for joining us. We're very excited to have you on today as one of the winners of our awards last week.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Good morning.
Have you recovered from your win?
Yeah, we're still excited. But yeah, recovered. I think it's going to take a while for it to fully sink in. But yeah, we're very happy.
Excellent. To give a bit of background to the partnership between yourselves to make Bury St Edmunds become voted the most dog-friendly town in the UK, I know John runs a doggy daycare business called Camp Tells, and his dog Loki has become a large part of the Bury St Edmunds dog-friendly campaign. John, where did this relationship with dogs start for you, and how did it become as passionate as it is now?
So me and Loki's now 10 and a half, so he's been with me a long time now. So I got him as an office job in my previous sort of life, and he was very much a catalyst for changing everything, career and lifestyle and everything. So it was kind of a joke in our office. We had like a farm dog who used to be on site, and I off the cuff said, "Oh, if I was to get a dog, could he come and be an office dog?" And to my surprise, they said yes. And it was only probably a couple of months after that I got Loki, adopted Loki, and then he set me down a path of literally wanting to change career direction into something with animals. Lo and behold, found myself wanting to start a daycare centre, and he was very much the inspiration for that. And yeah, I didn't really look back. So found I had a natural affinity with dogs. Found I was fascinated by the behavioural side and the dog psychology. Just understanding and communicating with dogs and sort of helping them reach their potential, which lends itself really nicely to what I do for a business now. But in the background, me as a dog owner loves going out with Loki, and it always was quite difficult, just like locating where can you go that is dog friendly. So the dog friendly BSC campaign, so Bury St Edmunds, started from me wanting to really help owners identify locally where you can and can't go. So I kind of went into it thinking, right, what would I want to see? And it was like, right, I'd like to see a very obvious indicator like a dog bowl or a dog sticker in the windows. I was very fortunate early doors from my business point of view that I had a customer who was a local councillor. Was speaking to him off the cuff one day, and he was like, "Oh, it's an amazing idea. I'll help you." He then put us in contact with the local business improvement district and Sue, who at the time was representing the Bury St Edmunds tourism side of things. Council were very, very helpful too. And between the sort of four little areas, we all put heads together and said, this could be really good for the town. Got some investment in and sort of ploughed on from there.
You were a quantity surveyor before, just going a little bit back. And you said, Loki could come in the office. Were you out and about a bit? Did Loki come with you out and about?
So yeah. So I visited site, but a lot of my stuff was very much in an office. He sat beside me by my desk, typing away, doing quotes and things. And the highlight of my day literally turned into taking him out at lunchtimes or going out on site and on the road in the car, meeting people, teaching him tricks, doing basic behavioural stuff with him. So he very much became the focus of my day. And no offence to the job, he was far more exciting than quantity surveying was.
And how did you get from being a quantity surveyor to running a doggy daycare? You know, there's quite a few steps in there, getting a dog.
Oh yeah, I brushed over it just because literally I'm used to telling the story, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. So in effect, I was in a very flat place, and like it sounds very cliche, but it was like a life's too short epiphany. Myself and my wife lost three family members in the space of a few months, and it was like life's too short just to be doing a day job. So I sort of looked internally, what do I like, what do I enjoy? And it was like came to the terms I wanted to do something with dogs. So I was out looking, trying to find a sort of avenue, stumbled across an opportunity to go into a daycare franchise, funnily enough, and quit everything and put everything I had into doing that. And even though the franchise relationship didn't necessarily work out great, it kind of gave me a stepping stone to really kind of like, I'm good at this. I'm pretty good with dogs. I'm great with people. I can make this into a proper thing. And I kind of just dovetailed into making Camp Tales, and then sort of grew from there. But it was very much a fed up with life, quit everything, start something new. And a lot of people say, I get it. People say that it's sort of brave and it was a huge risk, but it was very much an eye-opening thing. It's like, well, what are you going to work Monday to Friday for, and just sort of living for a few weeks of the year when you can go and have a break and a holiday? I'd rather be doing something I enjoy, and that at the time literally was something to do with dogs, because Loki was literally so sort of life changing in changing my whole outlook on life.
I know you've said that you also have dogs stay over. It's not just doggy daycare, and there's mention of 400 dogs or something. And what are the challenges of dealing with that amount of dogs?
It's odd. People are very surprised when we say we look after like 400 dogs a week. It's like 70 odd dogs a day. They think it's crazy, but we started out very, very small. When I first opened, we had like 2 or 3 dogs, and it was purely daycare. So we were very good at organically growing and not sort of running before you could walk. So getting used to looking after 5 dogs. Then when 10 comes in, this is quite difficult. And then you get over it. You learn how to adapt and understand how dogs work in packs, how they can kind of really, really flourish when they are basically given their base needs. So we kind of rolled into it. I put a massive emphasis on training staff. So we've got like a wonderful apprenticeship program that makes sure all of our staff are qualified in animal care. And everyone's got an innate love of dogs. It sounds obvious, but people come to work with dogs, you absolutely have to love and breathe dogs at all times. So we just steadily grew from 5 dogs to 10 dogs to 20 dogs to 60 to 70, each little step of the time, and never kind of getting too far ahead of ourselves. The business evolved from just daycare around the pandemic time, where we saw there was a demand and a need for more groomers. So because we had such a high demand for our services, we wanted to do like a very complementary thing in grooming. Grooming's not a new service by any stretch, but we like to do it slightly different so far as we give a lot of freedom of flexibility. The fact that if the dog is coming to daycare, it's very easy for us to groom them within the day, make it a very nice environment for them, because they can room and play, we call it. And it makes a lot of difference to the owners scheduling, because they don't have to worry about strict appointment times. They're here for the day, we'll groom them, and they'll pick up at collection time. And then as recently as last year is where we introduced the overnight hotel, which again was through customer demand, wanting us to look after their dogs, because they found it hard to use traditional kenneling, because their dogs are much more closer to them than the average dog. So they need that little bit of elevated care. So we kind of developed and designed, and I built out the hotel in our big premises to in effect be dog bedrooms. So not just a kenneling environment. It's got a bed in there, night lights, heater, and basically it's a nice environment. But the thing that sets it apart probably from most is that there's a member of staff on site, literally paid to sit in a room, watch TV. If the dog doesn't settle in their bedroom, they come chill out on the sofa as if they're at home with their owners. So it's become quite a very nice home away from home for a lot of dogs, and so many people are really grateful for us kind of pivoting down that avenue, because even though we are primarily a daycare, the hotel is very much complementary to that for our customers, to give them an outlet to go for a night out or longer holidays.
It sounds great, John. When can I come and stay?
We do get lots of people asking.
So, Sue, you're the head of marketing at Bury St Edmunds. Tell us a little bit about what that involves.
Sure. I work for the Bury St Edmunds Business Improvement District. So we have around 400 town centre business members, everything from retail to food and drink to professional services to health and well-being. So it covers quite a wide variety of businesses in the town centre. And I head up a team basically that promotes the town to local residents under the BID brand and to visitors very further afield under the Bury St Edmunds and Beyond tourism brand, really. So we market to people up and down the UK within a sort of 2 to 3 hour drive time.
For you, Sue, how did the relationship between Bury St Edmunds and John and Loki start? When were you aware about the campaign to make the town more dog friendly?
Sure. I mean, the campaign's been going, I think it's around sort of 5, 6 years now, isn't it, John? Correct me if I'm wrong.
6 years, 6 years
Six
is
years.
correct.
There we go.
Totally, yeah.
And I mean, as John will tell you, the town was quite authentically dog friendly to start with. But the scheme that John and Clive Springett, the local Bury St Edmunds town councillor, sort of set up together, really enables people to see very clearly where is dog friendly. So there's absolutely no disparity about that when people go into our businesses. And really, John approached my colleague Mike Kirkham, who's our business support manager, to really try and see if we can get some of the businesses on board. And he did a lot of face to face in the early days with John and with Clive to really talk to the businesses about being dog friendly and what that would mean to them, and sort of reassuring them that it was going to be sort of well behaved dogs, that the owner would be very much at the forefront of making sure that relationship worked. And as I said, we came on board as the representative of many of the businesses in the town centre to really help market the scheme to local residents and to visitors, so that people knew very clearly what the scheme was and how to find out about it.
And can you just reiterate what's particularly dog friendly about Bury St Edmunds? How does it show? You said, I think John mentioned dog bowls. Is there other things that identify it?
Sure. I mean, John and I have talked about this a lot, and a lot of our businesses offer, sort of biscuits to dogs when they come in, a warm welcome to dogs. Some of the businesses actually have dogs in their business. They take their own dogs to work, as particularly a estate agent I'm thinking of that takes his own dog to work, and it provides a warm welcome to people that come in here. But it's not necessarily what we have in the town. It's the fact that we know that people will know very clearly how to identify where to go, and that we promote it as a dog friendly town. I mean, around 25% of our businesses in the town centre are dog friendly now and are part of the scheme. And for tourism, places to stay, there's around 30% of the places to stay on our website are dog friendly now. So we're making that very, very clear for people. We also have developed dog friendly tours that kicked off this year. We're going to continue next year, been very successful. As you probably know, that the cathedral in the town that we mentioned in our listing has decided to welcome dogs and has done a Dogs in the Cathedral calendar to promote that. And we're also working with other businesses on new initiatives all the time.
There are other towns or cities that are considering becoming more dog friendly and getting involved. What are some of the pitfalls that they should consider? Because I'm sure it's not all plain sailing, is it?
I think that there's obvious ones. There's always going to be people who push against it because it's just the nature of the world we live in now, with people going for the negative outlook. So people who aren't necessarily dog friendly themselves saying, well, I don't want to go there because I don't like dogs. So my general approach is education first. And I generally think one of the reasons why we've become so well known and culminate in this lovely award is that it's a collaboration between quite a few different areas. And I think me, from I guess a dog professional expert point of view, adds a little bit of help and weight because I can challenge and answer dog related concerns, if you will. One of the things we did early on is we created like almost a dog friendly charter, which is on the website, that almost gives people some guidelines. So guidelines for owners, but also guidelines for business. So we can always refer people to that if they have any kind of worries about it. But I think from anyone else trying to do what we're doing and raise the profile, I would say get as many people involved as you can, because it's when we first started with me and Clive, it was door to door. It's a hard graft. It was only when we got the BID, Sue, Mike involved that we really could reach out further, and the voices were heard from different angles because different people respond differently to different sort of professions, if you will. And I think that having someone passionate about it is really, really important, that kind of believes in all the good that it will do. And it's not just there as a gimmick. It's for lots of genuine reasons why I wanted to set it up in the first place, and why the council saw weight in it, why Sue did, why Bid did. There's lots of different reasons why we saw like this can be a really positive thing for not just the town, the local businesses, the dogs, the owners, anyone coming into the town as well. So I think you really need to kind of almost have like a little team and go into it very open, like you're going to have challenges, but see the sort of end goal as what do you want to achieve, why do you want to achieve it, and I generally think it is doable in any kind of small to large town. More difficult in bigger cities, but towns definitely is achievable.
So are there brands within the town that are particularly receptive to being dog friendly? I'm talking about the big brands, which are harder to approach because they have a head office and stuff. Or is it more independent stores and business that are easier to contact and get behind promotions?
Sure, I think you've just answered it for me, James. But yeah, we have both independents and national brands that are behind the scheme. But obviously, it is easier because with independents, because you've got the business owner right there who can kind of make the decision there and then, and we can actually go and talk to them. But there are national brands that have sort of come on board, and Primark being a big example in Bury St Edmunds. Not all of their stores, I understand, are dog friendly, but they talked to us about the scheme and were really happy to be a part of that. So, and that's a store that's just opened up and bringing a lot of business to town. So the big brands will get behind. I think it depends whether you can get an into the head office of the national brands, and whether you've got a very supportive manager on the ground, which we have done in many of our national brand businesses in both the town centre and the Arc shopping centre, which is just a stone's throw away from the town centre here.
Yeah, it's good that you can get through, and I think some of the conversation we have is really about encouraging other towns and business to get involved in this. And sometimes I think that might be one of the challenges, getting in touch with the right people to make something dog friendly.
Finding the dog owner in high up places of the businesses is the key, because they get so enthusiastic about it, because everyone loves seeing a dog coming into their shop. So it's getting them on board, and then they can almost sell it for you because they're signed up there and then. If they have to go and find the head office person, then they'll sell it because they're an employee, and they're kind of saying, well, we can do this, as opposed to a complete stranger like us doing it. So there's been lots of people who've done that to Mike and to Sue and to myself, who've been like, oh yeah, we love bringing dogs in, but we're getting this obstacle. Can we sort of say this and this? And we're like, yeah, absolutely, say that you've got the support of the town. We want more and more people to do it. And I think Sue touched on it, that the bigger places now are almost coming to us because we are quite well known for it now. And Primark is such a good example, because the town has been crying out for a big store like that for a while, since we lost Debenhams a few years back. And the fact that they came to us and are embracing it early doors really sets a precedent for the others, because it's very easy for most places to get coffee shops and pubs on board. They're kind of very obvious, easy ones, but it's the more unique shops, and like we've got galleries and things like that as well on board, just so we're very, very diverse. And we love the estate agents one. Most of our estate agents are now going down that same route, because buying a family home, you want to bring your dog in, you're very much welcomed, and it's less of an obstacle to make an appointment. So it's quite a cool, diverse range of businesses that we have.
And I think also for the businesses, local economy wise, if you can encourage people to bring their dogs into town, and there are businesses that welcome them, people are going to stay longer, they're going to spend more, because they're not having to worry about popping back home to make sure the dog is okay, make sure that the dog has been let out, or feeding the dog. They can actually bring the dog with them. And I think that's a very big plus for town centres, considering doing a dog friendly scheme like us.
Yeah, and we've done some research in the past, and other places have done research on how commercially beneficial it is to bring dogs. Have you done anything yourself within the town, or have you relied on any other research around this?
We've had a lot of anecdotal feedback from businesses to say that, people are coming in, they're staying longer, they're having, they might come in just for one cup of tea, but they'll stay longer because they can bring their dog with them. And I think John is a big example of that with Loki, and, he can spend longer out in town.
Yeah. And that was literally one of the first sort of, I guess, selling points when I was first doing it. It was like, you have somebody walking in town with a dog. We are generally dog friendly before this all kicked off. Lots of people take their dogs into town, walking there through town past these shops. So having like an identifier through the dog bowl or our little stickers on the window, there is a chance that that person might go in and browse. And yeah, they might not buy anything, but getting them through the door is the first step. And if they know they can with their dog, they're obviously more likely to than just to walk through town, because they might think, oh, I'm just going to pop in and have a little browse at this clothes shop, or I really fancy a coffee. Where can I go? Literally anywhere in Bury, pretty much, because we've got so many lovely coffee shops. And I think they kind of heard that and thought, well, yeah, that kind of makes sense for the potentially minor obstruction of thinking, all right, can we allow a dog into our premises to, I'm going to gain a customer here, is quite a big kind of thing, particularly as all small businesses have had a pretty rough 5 or 6 years with various things going on and on. You need to kind of think out of the box and think, right, what can we do to help and support and do something different to make sure that we can be sustainable for the future.
Yeah, okay. So is there any, Sue, are there any particular hotels that you recommend for visitors with dogs, or either of you?
I mean, we don't recommend hotels. I think what we try
All
to
of them.
do, all of them, come to Bury, just be in all of them. But people can very easily find the hotels and the other accommodation providers that make dogs welcome on our website. So if I can give that a plug, Bury St Edmunds and beyond.co.uk. If you go on there and you look on our places to stay, you can very clearly see on our category dog friendly which accommodation providers are dog friendly. One of our accommodation providers, I am going to give a quick shout out, is the Ickworth Hotel just outside Bury St Edmunds, and they actually offer a dog menu and a dog afternoon tea. So they've really embraced the dog friendly. And we were just talking about coffee shops. One of our coffee shops, Midgar Coffee in St John Street, have just provided a whole dog menu. They've just launched it this Friday. It was a pure coincidence that they were the awards on Thursday, but they've just launched this fantastic new dog menu because it's really taken off for them.
Great. Steve, we're coming. We've got a hotel, somewhere to stay, and
we definitely are.
Coffee shop to sit in.
Plenty of stuff to do as well.
I mean, one of the other big things to mention is we've got lots of parks as well, and they will welcome dogs on leads. So we've got a lovely, fantastic park called the Abbey Gardens, and dogs are welcome on leads to walk around there. There's lots of wide open spaces, obviously being in the middle of the Suffolk countryside for you to take your dog on walks and enjoy the outside space as well as coming into town.
So, John, you came to the awards this year after being voted into second place last year, and I have to say, James and I have been watching this category with interest, because it's been a very fair fight, but very exciting. Were you confident of taking first place this year, and did you do anything different to achieve it?
Weirdly, not confident at all. After last year, we kind of felt like we were very well placed. There's nothing against the other people that we were finalists with last year, but we felt like we were so far ahead with all the effort we put in. So we were deflated last year, but we were very excited that we were even a finalist. And then basically this year, we kind of went in, it's like, yeah, we're doing really well. We're going to have a push. We're going to do some different things throughout the year, which I'll touch back on in a second. But I honestly didn't think we were going to win. I saw who we were up against this year, and it's like, well, it's going to be hard. And we were sitting there, and I very much was not ready to stand up and go up to collect the award, because I just had assumed we weren't going to win it. So when you said our name, it was very much a sort of a rush of joy and emotion, because it's very much the thing. When I set it up, very candidly, I said, I want to make Bury the most dog-friendly place in the country. I literally said that to the first few people that we were speaking to, because I'd been out and I'd been to places in the Peak District, like Bakewell was the example that I always use, that it's very weird if you can't take your dog somewhere. And I thought that was such a nice thing to have, and to have this kind of mantle now for Bury St Edmunds, I'm very, very proud of. And so for this year, we were very much like, well, we're going to do it. We're going to try again. What can we do a little bit different? We know we're doing a lot right. So we kind of jumped at different opportunities. One of the big things, I think Sue mentioned it briefly earlier, was we have a historic town tour that we do, Bury tour guides, and they kind of asked about the potential of doing a dog version. And I was like, yeah, 100%, I'm in. Any help, let me know. So we kind of rolled into it. I gave them this advice. I came and walked the tour with them as almost the dog expert to make sure that there was no oddness with the dogs, because it's always challenge when you get a group of dogs together who aren't well mixed. Unlike with our daycare, we assess every dog to make sure that they can mix freely. You're going into an open environment, there is risks there. So I was there to basically offer a safety guide and make sure dogs are on lead, make sure they're behaving well and they're not getting stressed and anxious. And the tour itself was lovely. It was incredible. It was lovely to learn a bit more about the town. The dogs themselves were incredibly well behaved, and there was sort of 10 of them, all beautifully well behaved. And there were some that were anxious, but they got on really well. And we had loads of really good feedback. So I think that's now going to become a regular thing for the Bury tour guides to do. Is like a dog friendly version, and it's not just open to those with dogs. It's open to those who perhaps want to come and spend some time with dogs too, or perhaps they want to build their confidence around dogs. So it's kind of a nice sort of avenue that we can sort of say, look, we've got this. You can do our normal tour guides, but if you want to explore sort of one with some dog company, then we've got the dogs there too, and learn a bit about our town. So I think that was a big thing that we kind of did this year that maybe set us apart. It wasn't necessarily part of our awards entry, but I think it just demonstrates that we'll be continually trying to improve and do something different to help our dog community.
That's great.
So how does the town get people involved in voting for the Dog Friendly Awards?
Well, it's top secret. I can't tell you.
Well,
No, basically, it's very simple. We told everybody about it. I mean, last year we did a lot of media interviews to encourage people to raise awareness of the fact that we were in the awards, that we were eventually a finalist, and to encourage people to vote. And our local press did us proud, covered that. But we also had running alongside last year we had a campaign to encourage people to come and visit Bury St Edmunds with their dog and stay with their dog. So we did a brand new video, which Loki was part of. So we used that as well. And we did a whole digital marketing campaign around it. There were lots of press trips last year where we encouraged journalists to come and stay with their dog and review Bury St Edmunds as a dog-friendly place. So this year, many people were aware of the awards from last year. I think it's fair to say a lot of the local TV newsrooms were phoning me throughout the day to find out when the awards were. They were getting so excited. I think people are just generally really chuffed that we were in the awards last year and chuffed to see that we've won it this year. So it's about spreading the word really online through our marketing, face to face.
John, you've already touched on the ways that Bury St Edmunds could become more dog friendly in the future. Like you said, you've got the dog tour now. Is there anything else you can think of?
Yeah, well, I'm starting to have conversations with one of our local historic cinemas. We are going to be trying to do more dog-friendly cinema screenings, which is quite exciting. So it adds another thing for people to do. So the Abbygate Cinema has been doing it sort of touch and go for a while, and they kind of put them in touch with me to kind of help with the dog angle, obviously, which will start to help promote as well, to make it a safe environment and to manage people's expectations that it's going to be a bit different to a normal cinema screen. There might be the odd dog bark here and there, but generally you can go and watch a film in a lovely cinema with your dog, which I think is quite an exciting thing that we can potentially be offering soon. And then I think, as what we've been doing for the last few years, is like, if an opportunity comes up and it makes sense, even if it's a sort of curveball idea, we'll probably consider doing it. If there's any kind of lateral benefit to the dog, because that's my angle, is it beneficial for the dog? Because everything that I set this up for was literally to aid and assist dogs' social development, first and foremost, to give them opportunities to experience different locations and almost become desensitized, so they become more confident. So it's not just a gimmick, if you will. So it's not just, oh, I want to bring my dog here for the sake of bringing them. No, if it helps your dog become calmer, less anxious about certain environments, then that's a big plus from my point of view. But yeah, so it's hard to say, sort of, because it has been like, if something comes up, we're like, no, yeah, that could be a good idea. Let's explore that and see. And so far, we've had a pretty good track record of like hitting the nail on the head with making them work and it being a really, really successful sort of thing. One thing I do, which we've kind of touched on before, one thing I really, really want to do is, we used to have a really lovely dog show in one of our parks pre-COVID, and it hasn't come back. It's something I'd quite like to do, because again, it's another opportunity for dogs to come together, for retailers to have like stalls and do different things like dog shows. And again, I think that's really beneficial for dogs to come out and be social in groups and see each other out in the wild. So I think that's something we would quite like to build towards in the next few years again, and bring that back, because I think that has lots of benefits to the local community, the dogs, tourism businesses alike.
Yeah, okay. So we've got lots of things potentially still happening that could benefit your placement in the awards next year as well.
Oh yeah. We're going to be up there every year.
Sue, do you think winning the award will help improve visitor numbers and also experience coming to the town? And what sort of PR have you received from winning the award so far?
I mean, as a visitor destination, we're constantly looking for new or kind of authentic news hooks. I mean, everything about our destination's got to be kind of authentic. It's got to be something that's kind of come naturally, and then we can put that as part of our marketing and really kind of promote that as part of things that stand out about the town. And to say we're an award-winning dog-friendly destination is great PR angle, and we'll be working on that in the next 6 months to make more people aware of that. I mean, locally, we've had coverage across all the local newspapers, radio stations, and TV already for winning the award. So the next step is to make sure that that filters out into the wider national press, and particularly the travel press as well.
So where does the award sit? Is it a fight between yourself and John?
At the moment, I've won because it's sitting on my desk, proudly on my desk, I have to say, because we're still being asked by businesses to take it down to them and show it to them. So some of our dog-friendly businesses want to have a look at it. Some of our supporters, and we're still being asked by media to do photos as of today. So we showed it to the town clerk yesterday from Bury St Edmunds Town Council. As you know, they've been very, very supportive in providing funding for the dogs and dog bowls and the stickers. So yeah, we're proudly showing it off at the moment. But yes, yeah, John needs to have a little go with it and show his customers, who have also been hugely supportive as well as voting. And John has been instrumental in setting this scheme up. So he rightly deserves to show it off for a while.
I was going to get my own copy probably
Yeah.
put up in the reception.
Month 11.
Yeah. Just to put the pressure to win it again.
In terms of showing it off to the public, we're thinking we might have a little display maybe in the tourist information point for a while, so that members of the public can come and have a look as well.
John, you've achieved it. You've won. Is that it now, or do you want to keep
No? Because now it's going to be the pressure to keep it. Because I think a couple of years, there'll be other people that will up their game. I've got no doubt, but particularly as we are pretty good at publicising stuff. So I think Sue will definitely get a hold of the national papers, and we will get national traction, which will then probably invite more people to pester you guys to enter. So therefore, the competition will definitely increase, but that will only benefit everybody in the long run, because it is literally about the dogs. Yeah, it's great that we are number one and we're going to want to stay that way. But if somebody else elevates and sort of gets their town up to similar standards to us, or identifies that they are, it's only going to be good for the wider dog community in the country, because everyone wants to go travel with their dogs. We want people to come here, obviously, of course we do, but we can't have everybody come here all the time. So if we can sort of encourage other people to do similar things and kind of broaden the kind of scope of what it means to be dog friendly, great. Because I think as a country, we're excellent. We're really, really good for what we do with our dogs. And yeah, there are always going to be the odd issues, and I'm sure you guys get it as much as I do, that there'll always be breed centric problems that get negative news highlights, and sometimes they're ill-educated, sometimes it's just a situational thing. So the more positive stuff around it, and like this is like so positive, which is why we're very, very proud of it, the better, basically. So it's like a massive big thumbs up, I think, and everybody should sort of see it that way and embrace it.
Excellent.
And thank you to everyone who voted for us as well.
Absolutely, yeah, because obviously it's public vote, which is the nicest thing, but it's literally, it wouldn't be there unless people generally appreciated it and voted for it.
Thank you so much, guys. I think Steve probably feels the same way. It's really nice to have done the award and then have talked to a business like yourself afterwards, to spread the word a little bit more and get a little bit more insight on how people involved actually get people voting and sharing the word of dog friendliness. So thank you so much for being on today. And we really obviously look forward to seeing you back in the competition next year. Sue or John, is there any, do you want to share a link or something? You mentioned one earlier, Sue, about where people can find out more about Bury St Edmunds and dog friendliness.
Yeah, so we've got the dog friendly page, which will give you all the links to everywhere we are at, which is dogfriendlybsc.co.uk, and our tourism website is Bury St Edmunds and beyond.co.uk, and that's where you can search for places to stay that are particularly dog friendly.
Yeah, and
Excellent.
then from us, I literally thank you to you guys for what you guys do from a dog friendly point of view, because it is massively helpful to have like national sort of thing. Because we're obviously like a mini thing within our own little town, but it wouldn't have as much sort of weight without kind of a national support. And you guys do a great job. But from our tags, like our dog friendly specific Instagram is at dogfriendlybsc. We always love sharing photos, so we encourage anyone who comes and visits us, take a photo, tag us, we'll share it, and that goes to the businesses as well as visitors. And then yeah, from us, not that outsiders necessarily need to worry, but Camptails is just a dog daycare who looks after dog socialization and behavior and stuff. So we have fun doing it. If you want to watch some cute dog videos, our Instagram is Camptails BSC. It's always a good watch on Instagram per day because we do like little highlight stories, so you get to see lots of cute dogs playing with each other in a happy environment.
Excellent. Well, Steve, let's get our bags packed.
Yeah, mine are already.
Take our dogs
Off
to
to Bury
Bury
St
St Edmunds. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. It was really excellent. To find out more about Dog Friendly, the Dog Friendly magazine, the Dog Friendly Awards, visit www.dogfriendly.co.uk.